What's up, people? Welcome back to CricFootz. In the third week of the Premier League, we have seen some crazy results and some amazing football. I will be covering 5 games for you, and let's see how the week went by.
So let's start with the biggest game we were all waiting for, Liverpool versus Arsenal. I've been watching football for almost 13 years now, and this one particular game has never disappointed me. It has always been a high scoring game with lots of drama, and I was expecting one such game this week. I felt this game was quite different to the one I was expecting to. I felt Liverpool and Arsenal were playing safe football, and they were waiting and trying to capitalize on the opponent's mistake. And that's how Arsenal opened their account. Andrew Robertson made a sloppy clearance inside the Liverpool box, and Lacazette took the advantage and scored the first goal and continued his fine form in front of the goal. But we all know how lethal Liverpool's attack is. It hardly took them 3 minutes to bounce back into the game. None other than Sadio Mane scored the equalizer for Liverpool and made the scoreline 1-1. Once Liverpool scored the first goal, they had all the momentum. They very quickly scored the second goal and took the lead. Andrew Robertson, who was the culprit for Arsenal's first goal, made up for his mistake and scored the second goal for Liverpool, and they were leading in the half-time 2-1. In the second half, I felt Liverpool were terrific with the ball. They were also dominating the game and were hunting for the third goal. And on the other hand, Arsenal were spineless with their counter-attacks and looked really lost. They brought in their attacking midfielder Dani Ceballos, who I felt had a terrific impact. He was creating a lot of chances and he set up a beautiful ball for Lacazette, and he was bad with the finish, and I felt Lacazette should have scored that goal, which would have changed the whole dimensions of the game. Liverpool brought in their debutant Diego Jota, who scored the third goal for them and wrapped up the game. I felt it was a controversial goal because there were claims of him handling the ball, and I felt it should have been ruled out. In the end, Liverpool won the game comfortably 3-1, and Arsenal looked really poor. It was a big surprise Arteta leaving their defender who was in form, Gabriel Magalhaes, and choose Kieran Tierney instead of him. Arsenal looked threatening in some or the other way, but didn't have that quality to beat Liverpool, and the game ended full time Liverpool 3, Arsenal 1. Now, let's focus on the next game. Manchester City took on Leicester City at the Etihad Stadium, and this turned out to be the game which no one expected. I felt Man City had a firing start to their game when former Leicester player Riyad Mahrez scored an outstanding goal and gave them the lead. But in the 37th minute, a sloppy foul by Kyle Walker inside the Leicester box, and Leicester gets a penalty. Who else but Jamie Vardy scored the penalty and equalized the game going into the half-time. In the second half, we witnessed a complete turnaround from Leicester City. I felt Man City were really bad with their defense and were very sloppy throughout the game. In the 53rd minute, new Leicester City player Timothy Castagne provided a low cross to Jamie Vardy, who brilliantly finished it and made the scoreline 2-1. And in the 57th minute, Man City showed their sloppiness again. Garcia made a bad tackle and Leicester were awarded a penalty. Who else but Jamie Vardy completed his hat-trick and made the scoreline 3-1. Man City were trailing 3-1 and they started putting more pressure on the defense of Leicester City. They tried to attack more constantly from either wings, but they failed. They were really ineffective and inefficient on and off the ball. Brendan Rodgers brought in their star playmaker, James Maddison, who returned after a long injury. And he came back with a bang. He scored a screamer from around 25 yards and Ederson had no chance to save it. Leicester City were leading 4-1 now. Leicester were leading 4-1 and Man City had absolutely nothing to lose now. They were down and out. But still they were trying to put a lot of pressure on the Leicester defense and try to get a consolation goal. Nathan Ake scored his debut goal for Man City from a corner and made the scoreline 4-2. But sloppiness at the back continued. They conceded a penalty late in the game and Yuri Tielemans scored the penalty and the game finished Manchester City 2, 5 Leicester City. I'm sure all the other top 5 club fans would be really happy with this scoreline, and we all know Man City are very vulnerable when it comes to their defense. And understandably, they have made a big signing in Ruben Diaz to strengthen their defense. But time will tell us how effective and efficient he's going to be, and how he along with Laporte, Nathan Ake, going to improve and sturdy their defense. In game week 3, we also saw Tottenham Hotspurs take on a very good looking Newcastle United. In the first half, both the teams were really attacking and hunting for the first goal, and the game was quite open. Lucas Moura scored the first goal after an assist from Harry Kane, and Tottenham took the lead. But in the second half, it was a typical Jose Mourinho style of game where they were having more of possession and were defending deep, but it was all about the late drama which happened in the game. Newcastle were constantly putting pressure on Spurs' defense in the second half, and Spurs were holding on to that clean sheet and were defending really deep. In the dying moment, the drama began again. In the 97th minute, Newcastle were awarded a penalty for a handball by Eric Dyer. I mean, come on, how can you award a penalty for a handball like that? Absolutely ridiculous. Callum Wilson scored the penalty and the game ended 1-1. Jose Mourinho was really frustrated and walked away before the final whistle, and it was understandable. That was never a penalty, and decisions like this ruin the beauty of the game. It was a really harsh call, and I really felt bad for Tottenham today. Game week 3 saw West Ham United host Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I felt Wolves would easily win this game considering West Ham's misery. But guess what? Football is all about surprises. A brace from Jared Bowen, a own goal from Raul Jimenez, and a goal from Sebastian Haller ensured West Ham win the game 4-0. What a result for West Ham, and what an upset for Wolves would this prove to be. In the other parts of the country, Fulham took on Aston Villa at Craven Cottage. Goals from their captain Jack Grealish, Conor Hourihane and Tyrone Mings ensured Aston Villa comfortably won this game 3-0. Aston Villa also continued their winning form, and this team looks really fresh now, and I feel really excited looking at their game. That's a roundup of game week 3 from our side. Hope you guys are enjoying all the non-stop action and all the content from our side. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel and enjoy all the sporting action.